Okay. This is the very last question on your ETS 022 mathematics practice case. So, I'm very excited to say that. We are looking here at truth tables, and in some ways, the way that I sort of logically work through truth tables is sort of similar to like some sample space situations that I've shown you with probability before, but it's slightly different. I want to go over just some notation with you. This arrow, just like in geometry, it is an if-then arrow, but if it has to do with truth. It's truth tables, okay? So if this is true, then you know this is true. Okay, is what it's saying. And the way you do truth tables is you pick at it a little and a little and a little. So first of all, you've got 1, 2, 3 different statements, P, Q, and R. You don't know what they are, but let me show you. When I've got 3 different statements, because it's either true or false, that makes it a binary choice, which means 2 to the power of the number of things. So 2 to the 3rd power means there are actually 8 different ways that this could go. Okay, and let me show you what it is. I know that I've got 8, so I divide it up like this. I go 8 divided by 2. P is either true, 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 or it's false, 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 false. So I half the 8 into trues and falses for the first letter, for the first statement P. Then Q, I half the half and alternate between true and false. Sorry, this computer just does that. So I go true, true, false, false, true, true, false, false. Okay. Lastly, and what this is doing is making a complete and orderly sample space. R as a statement is either true, false, so you have to half the half, true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false. So this is every possible order that P, Q, and R can be true or false, and all the different combinations, okay? So then I want you to, well, we're going to go back up here. The next thing I do is just one part of it, P and Q. The A looks like an and, but this is how I think of it. I'll think of like, you know how like someone, sometimes on the boardroom table, you get someone who puts both their hands down and they go, hey, grr, I get my way. Well, I don't have room to write that. My way. Okay. What that means, the and means is that they both have to be true. You are not negotiating. If they are both true for P and Q to be true. And if they're not both true, it's not. And then I think about this as just somebody going, it's okay, one or the other. Oh, I'm getting irritated at this. One or the other. All right, so what I'm trying to figure out then is, are P and Q true? If they are, I can put true. If they're not, I have to put false. So P and Q right here, they're both true, so this is true. Here, P and Q are both true, so this one's true. All the way down, though, none of the rest of them are both true. So I have to put false, 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 false. Does that make sense so far? All right. What it wants to know is, then, P or R. So if either of them is true, I can put true. So that's true. That's true. This is a true. This is a true. That's a true. That's a false, false, false. Lastly, it gave me one other little qualifier right at the beginning that I did not, I forgot to mention. It said P, Q, and R are statements. Got that? In the entire sample space for true or false. it tells me P is definitely true. If P is definitely true, this line, this line, this line, and this line, I don't even have to consider. All right? So, now then, finishing this up, the question is, if you know that P and Q is true. I didn't write that correctly. If I can get this computer through this one last problem, P and Q, does it automatically mean that P or Q has to be true? It kind of, sort of, I hope your just rationalization skills are kicking in and you're going, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? But let's look and see. If P and Q is true right here, so you're only looking at these two situations, do you automatically know that P or Q is true? And if you look, yep, you do. So your final analysis is to say, if this is true, like a monkey with a pencil, if this is true, is this true? And yes, that's true, true. Okay, so it wants to know, is that a true statement or is it false? And the answer is A, it is true.